So I'm going to be checking out more cutscenes in Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance with the Debug Mod and use of the Unreal Engine for FreeCam. So let's go ahead and dive in. So it's a good thing, I know it's probably in the Debug Mod somewhere in the event files, but I seem to have had a save right before this whole sequence. Like, I made multiple saves when I was playing this game, so that's a really helpful thing for me. This is the ritual cutscene. Just want to take a look around at the area. I think in a previous video, not in the cutscenes, but in just the areas that you can access in the event viewer, the debug mod, I checked out one of the versions of this area, but not during a cutscene. So I was commenting that there are a lot of giant demon carcasses here, especially Snake. There's a lot here.
Can you hear her? The voice of our beloved goddess. There is nothing now that can stop her return.
So, I don't think I got a chance to look at this large thing. Oh, is it actually hollow? Weird. This weird egg thing that they were collecting Magatsui into. I think it's just, is it just a ball of Magatsui? Weird. Wow, look at how fucked up this place is. I wonder where it actually exists though, because they get teleported here. And when I first saw this, like in the teaser trailer and stuff, I thought this was like Yomi. I don't remember if they say where this area is. I just know it's like the area that the Kadishtu are using to summon Tiamat. I do wonder if some of these skeletons can be identified, though, if they're supposed to be, like, large demons. Like, if they're actually demons that exist in, the SMT series. Here you can get, like, a nice view of the entire area. Yeah, here's where Bino gets suckled. Gets his, power suckled out of him. Oh, okay, let me pause that for a second. Yeah, that's fucked up. All of his armor is like all scratched up and cracked. When I saw this in the teaser trailers, and I had no context to what was happening to him, I thought this was like a transformation. Like, I thought he was like going all chaos mode and was gonna turn into like a demon or something. I don't know. I mean, obviously, even before they showed the Ninja Nahobino, I saw this and was like, oh, is he, like, transforming into something different? And then they showed the Ninja Nahobino, and I thought the two were related. Technically they are, but not quite like that. And then, these two also got injured, Tao, and then Yoko. No, Yoko just got blasted back. She's not getting the energy sucked out of her. It's just these two. I mean, it's interesting because it's the first time I've ever seen any damage to his armor. Like, despite all of the battles he's been in, we've never seen any damage like this. I think it was pretty bold of them to actually put the scene in one of the trailers. But maybe they wanted to be like, oh no, Nahobino he's gonna get killed or something. Oh, here we go. Hold on here. There might be a way I can, like, slow it down while they're doing this. There's so much, like, bloom here. I don't know if I can darken it. Let me see if I can darken it. Well, that's really freaky. Yeah, I can lower the lights just a bit so that you can see him a little bit more, but it's really bright. I'm gonna pause that. This is like the most face that this dude has ever shown. Extreme anguish. I can't imagine what it's like to have your essence just like vacuumed out of you. I'll admit when I know this is like a serious scene too, but when I saw it in the trailers, like watching it back again, it was kind of funny because like he's usually pretty stoic. So like him, I guess the face, and people were joking, oh, it's the conditioner like suckling his essence out of him, which, you know, sounds kind of weird out of context. I do think it's interesting. He suddenly makes his expression changes. So, yeah, let me see here. There we go. That looks like, you know, this white light here. I guess the scene happened so fast I didn't even notice this, but this white light here kind of reminds me when they first become the Nahobino. It reminds me of like the area they're in with the Tree of Knowledge. So, and I notice his expression changes. He's experiencing anguish when he's getting the stuff sucked out of him. And all of a sudden his expression changes. So I don't know if that's, it might be because the fusion is separated. That's probably why that happens. It's being separated. So they forcibly... I can't imagine what it's like to force the Nahobino fusion apart. It's happened before when Sahori and when Sahori gets possessed by Lamu and attacks Tao, and of course the Nahobino gets in the way and sacrifices himself to protect Tao. And that they get forced apart, of course, when the Nahobino takes extreme damage. The fusion is forced apart and they could potentially die. Wow, that's fucked up. He's just still... he's still like this. Wow, okay.
I'm sorry, young man.
Okay, I'm gonna check the scene here. So, where is he located? I assume they were in that orb, but... usually they're in, like, a dark space. Is he, like, under? Where did they put him at? He's just in the pool, it seems.
I swore I would protect you, but I fear I can no longer do so.
It's interesting because from this perspective, it does look like it's kind of the inside of that large ball where they're absorbing all the Magatsui. So I assumed they were in that, but they're actually like under the ground in here. Still under the ground, it seems. Like way down here. Not unless that red pool that's in the series is also Magatsui, like where they gathered all of it. Unfortunately, the camera gets really blurry when I try and get close to them. Pause here. Be slowly... I thought maybe he was disappearing in the scene. It kind of looked like he was sinking into the darkness, but it looks like his body is just disintegrating, so being absorbed. He becomes Magatsui, but it becomes he ends up being inside Tiamat. Pause that. This light that's near him is pretty interesting. Is this still underground? I'm trying to figure out where. It's just in a dark space. Okay. Oh, he's all the way over here. Is this close to where... I think this is in the building. Okay. Yeah, the situation's very unfortunate because the thing I want to know that I wasn't sure of is they did get together before this, and were taking out demons. When you get into Shinjuku, like they take out some of the cherubs, and I don't know if they were doing that like when they fought them, if they were doing that as a Nahobino or not, because it's like, okay, if you guys could already become Nahobino, why are you letting like Abdiel and Ichiro whoop your ass? And they're not even like in a Nahobino form, like they're just separate. So it's like, what was keeping you guys from becoming a Nahobino even like before this? Like, what was the hesitation? I really want to know what, like, why, like what the problem was. You know, when this cutscene showed, I wasn't quite sure where they were actually at. I think this is, let's see. Are they right by the, oh yeah, this is right by the Metropolitan Building. So it's right where the, you know, you encounter the Kadishtu and the ritual happens. So I guess... they weren't by the Metropolitan Building when Tiamat got summoned. So what are they doing here? I guess... why did Koshimizu come over here? I wonder. So there's not a whole lot to really examine here. I love how he's still knocked out this whole time. And then conveniently wakes up after Yuzuru gets pulped. Jeez, Koshimizu.
I'm here to stop you from making a dumb mistake like becoming a Nahobino.
You know, it's interesting. I'm sure this has been said before, but usually his hair is like combed down normally, but when he takes off the hat and goes all Chaos Law mode, he has the spiky hair. But he really does look like, I know he's Law, but, and this has been said before, the alignments are more on the, lean on the Chaos side, so even Law is actually more like Chaos. So he looks more like a Chaos rep like this, and then Yuzuru looks more, well, I don't know what Yuzuru looks like. He doesn't look as Chaos, though.
That is correct. As decreed by our lord, the Nahobino cannot be permitted to exist.
Oh god, okay. Wow, that's brutal. Did she get him right in the heart? Probably, but it probably wouldn't matter where she shoved it in him. He's gonna take massive damage. Oh yeah, he was even trying to like pull it out too. Cause he just flings him.
Sorry to say it, buddy, but looks like you made the wrong enemy.
Jeez. Oh man. That's fucked. Yeah, that's the thing. Why did they...
Lucky. Not even
okay.
worth the time it'd take to kill you.
I still don't understand why he spares the main character, because it's like, oh, well, they acknowledge that Aogami's not around, so and yet they decide to spare the main character. Why didn't you spare Yuzuru, though? It's like, you didn't kill... I assume you didn't kill Tsukuyomi because maybe you thought he was completely knocked out or dead. So it's like, okay, well... this guy's demon partner's possibly dead, then why the fuck did you have to kill Yuzuru? It was like a needless death. Completely needless. You didn't have to kill him at all. Makes no sense. Okay, I'm gonna pause this here. Label camera. Oh, that's interesting. So maybe I didn't notice it before, but Dazai's hat is still laying on the ground here. Left the evidence of his crime. So I find it interesting. You know why I got... Did they bring him onto the street? Hold on for a second. No, they're still in the area of the Metropolitan building, but is it the way the cutscene is shot? Because I notice all these structures that were on the ground are gone. Yeah, that's weird. That is strange, because wasn't he... Okay, I'm gonna let this play out here. Oh, it's the way it's shot.
Damn it all.
Okay, it might just be because of the way I'm doing this, because I was sure he was actually leaning against something. I think he's normally leaning against something here. So it, like the, some of the structures that were on the ground are gone for some reason.
Where is he? Where's Atsuta?
Okay, there's the blood. Whoa! Oh, look at this. I don't know if they show a close-up on his body. Like, obviously, when anything is, like, killed, even humans in this this world, they do dissipate into Magatsuhi. However, there's plenty of blood, too. It is funny because I've seen people say, like, oh, SMT5's, like, not that gory or anything, which is kind of weird because I think they forget all the scenes where humans are getting pulped and there's lots of blood. There's plenty of instances where people are getting impaled, there's blood splatter, all that kind of stuff. Maybe it doesn't happen, like, consistently throughout the game, but there's enough of it. I think, like, multiple people getting impaled is quite enough. I mean, even in the beginning of the game, I think there is a little bit of blood if you examine it, but the murder that happens in the train station that's covered by, like, a cloth or something, I'm pretty sure there's, like, blood. Or I thought there was blood around there somewhere, if you look closely. There are plenty of brutal things happening in this game. Yeah, look at all the blood here. Poor Yuzuru. I'm just, like, examining the gore, the brutality that has happened to him during a very sad moment.
But after the demon
Okay, so they do actually show his hat during the cutscene.
Decided to eradicate the Nahobino.
Just gonna kind of examine. There's not much going on in the scene. I just wanted to kind of check it out real quick. Oh, the blood's gone. I think it's because now he's.
Are you alone? What happened to Aogami?
So he's just lost Aogami, and now his high school friend just got impaled. What a pickle they're in. You're gonna pause it here. This is kind of a sweet. I mean, it's a very sad moment, but it's kind of sweet because they're, you know. Tsukiyomi is paying his respects to Yuzuru in a way by not just leaving him lay here like this, you know. He's still wearing, let me see. Yeah, that's what the watch and the bracelet. So, I'll probably mention it in just a little bit. I'm gonna let this play out. Both the bracelet and the watch are important to the lore of Yuzuru. go. Let me pause this. There's a lot of like bloom and like blurring and visual effects in SMT5. So like whenever I'm using the camera like this to go the zoom in or out of scenes, sometimes it's hard to get like a clear view of the characters. Oh, there he goes. Just disappears. Oh yeah, we don't get a look. Yeah, look how sad he is. I mean, we get to see it a little bit, but normally he doesn't show a lot of emotion, kind of like his brother, but... These two. Well, they both don't seem to show a lot of emotion. So, it's nice. That's why this scene is particularly nice. I was going to say before the body disappeared that the watch that Yuzuru wears is related to his father. I believe it was given to him by his father. And then the bracelet is I remember some old lore in about SMT5 where Yuzuru would rip off his bracelet if his sister died, because I think they were originally intending to kill her, and they did not do that. But poor Yuzuru gets killed like twice between the different routes instead.
Well, there's only one thing to do now. Young man, I want you to come along with me.
I'm actually curious where he's heading. He's probably heading to the ley line Felt that's out here to teleport to the lab, because that's where they go next. Okay. So this is a scene I've been particularly interested in exploring because this is when they become the new Nahobino form. Now, in some earlier videos I did, where I'm using the debug mod and the FreeCam for Unreal Engine, I did explore this area because there's a way for you to access just this area itself and not during the cutscene in the debug mod. I'm kind of curious here. So this tank is still... I did point out that this tank is related to Aogami, is tied to the sword. It's pretty low. They only have like a little bit left, and probably not enough to like make another unit. That might be enough to where they can like, if they put Aogami in here, they might be able to maintenance him, but I don't know how much they need if they needed to create like another unit. And obviously at this point, Aogami's been absorbed by Tiamat, so you have to fuse with Tsukuyomi, and this is where he basically lore dumps on you. And I pointed out before, this is the tank for Amaterasu. It is very full. They cannot make use of it at all. And this is the one for Tsukuyomi, which, as far as I'm aware, I think they've made copies of Tsukuyomi before, but probably not as much as they had to make with the Aogami units. They didn't have to mass produce Tsukuyomi. Check this thing here. I don't think it's any different than when I looked at this before. It's pretty much the same stuff. I don't think anything's been changed to this area since the original. So I'm gonna go ahead and let the scene play out.
We can't entrust this world to Bethel. And we can't let the Kadishtu run free either. That's why I need you, since you've fought as a Nahobino before.
Yeah, see, like I said, that tells me he has no experience. And he didn't really fuse with Yuzuru to become a Nahobino yet, like he did in the Canon of Creation route. So I don't quite know. Like I said, I don't know why there was hesitation to become a Nahobino in the Vengeance route compared to the Canon of Creation, where it seemed very obvious that they had already been training together.
which specializes in domestic affairs and guiding the Japanese government.
So, if you played the Canon of Creation all the way through, and you would know that he was Tsukuyomi, for one. And I found out. Now I know he drops a line that he used his body as a template to help make the Aogami units, but I don't think he drops that he's a proto-fiend exactly, or an artificial demon, divine demon. In the Japanese guidebook, however, and it's possible in the Japanese version of the game, this a line about him being a proto-fiend is dropped. So if you had that information before going into this, you would already know what he was. And that's the thing, I had wondered if they were going to do anything with that. It's like, oh, he's actually a proto-fiend. Now, maybe he was actually intended to also fuse with the protagonist originally. Maybe that's an idea that they had planned to do, but they just didn't get around to it. Or they couldn't figure out how to implement it. So I'm assuming they brought it back for this, if that was an old idea that they had.
While we analyzed Aogami, we replicated the system for becoming a Nahobino and outfitted it for the Tsukuyomi type. What I mean is, fusion with this proto-fiend should be possible.
So what
If
he's
you're
saying
willing,
there...
I would ask you fuse with the Tsukuyomi type. I would ask you to take up this fight once more.
So he mentions the data. Now I know there's not a whole lot to look at this scene. It's just kind of interesting to see the different views while he's talking to the protagonist. This data that he's referring to is the whatever Lucifer did to Aogami. He snatched up Aogami during the war when God was taken out, and that particular Aogami unit disappeared for a while. So we know Lucifer altered some of the data in Aogami, and it was probably what he learned after taking out the creator. He probably learned about the information about the Nahobino, and Aogami was given this information, and that's how I knew to become a Nahobino with the main character. And so this data, and this is like a new thing they drop. It's like before people, and I even made a theory video, like, okay, how is if the protagonist is supposed to be Bull God knowledge, how is he supposed to fuse with Tsukuyomi? Because people weren't quite sure if the new form was him fusing with Tsukuyomi. I was sure of it, but it's just like, how is that possible? Well, it seems like the knowledge doesn't matter too much if it's proto-fiends. The proto-fiends specifically, because they can, they're different from normal demons, and because they can do this where they can copy the data over into a different type of unit and make use of that data, they can become Nahobino. And also, there is lore somewhere in the game where the proto-fiends were originally designed, I guess the proto-fiends have been around for a while, so some of the researchers like, oh, we found out that, actually, they're not just meant for combat. They might be just referring to the Aogami units, but they could be talking about proto-fiends generally, or the artificial demons, that they were designed with fusing with humans or merging with humans in mind. But when you do the Nita quest, it seems like they didn't quite figure out the solution to that, though. They didn't know how to actually make the fusion happen. It's like the proto-fiends, like Aogami, they may have designed with that in mind, but they didn't pull off a fusion. And so when you show up as an Nahobino, fused with Aogami, you meet Dr. Nita, and he's surprised. He's like, oh, it's finally happened. The Nahobino that you become is treated as sort of like an ideal artificial human being, essentially. You have an artificial body. You're fused with a demon, artificial demon, but the demon has a human soul inside. So I guess that's what their intention was. I'm very curious where they learned that information, because in Nocturne I brought up that the proto-fiends sort of remind me, the concept of them remind me a little bit of the Demi-Fiend, and the way the humans in Nocturne, I'm sorry to go on a tangent, but I might as well bring it up now. This is a good time to bring it up. But the humans in Nocturne are able to sort of fuse with demons that they support the reason of, and they become these like weird, they're not quite Nahobino, but they really are like weird, they're sort of like proto Nahobino. But we know that Nocturne happened in a different world. The Amala, the whole like universe, there's ways for information and demons and entities to go to different worlds. So I really do wonder where these scientists learned or got this idea to combine a demon with a human soul, because it just reminds me of the Demi-Fiend. And the way the Proto-Fiends are designed kind of remind me of the mannequins. I brought it up before in my theory video, so I don't need to elaborate, but they do remind me of that. They remind me of dolls, like the mannequins that are filled with Magatsui. So maybe the idea of the Demi-Fiend and the idea of mannequins was combined with this and like sort of expanded in a way. But yeah, Vengeance added a lot of lore for the Proto-Fiends, and even then, I still have a lot of questions. A lot of questions.
Thank you. Yes, I am that Tsukuyomi type.
He's very proud of it. I wanted to mention another thing. He says he had to maintain a human appearance. Now, I am convinced, though he looks like this, I'm convinced that the human body that he appears in is not his actual form. And I could always go over this in a video about Proto-Fiends themselves, but because of it just has to do with the way if he used his body as a template for Aogami, if both the Nahobino with Aogami and the Nahobino with Tsukuyomi with Yuzuru share some very similar features that tells me that it is possible that his actual body looks very similar to Aogami, but just different. And also the way the ninja Nahobino looks. It's like, oh, he looks like a different version, like a purple ninja-like version of the Nahobino with Aogami. And it's like, okay, well, does he have a similar body to Aogami then, in actuality? And he's just disguising himself as a human. Which, given who he is and his abilities, his ninja-like abilities, he has a lot of like illusion-like abilities and stuff, I don't think it would be hard for him to disguise and maintain a human-like appearance despite having a different body. But that is my theory for that.
Young man, let us fight together.
Okay, so I'm gonna see if we can do this. Is it going to let me do this? Okay, 1 second. I'm actually gonna see what this looks like. Oh, yeah, it's just like the... I don't know why his body is like this, but when I examined the first time the main character in Aogami become a Nahobino, his body is in this position too. It's like weird action pose. No, I think just like the Nahobino... Yeah. Let's see... Yeah, the actual Nahobino transformation is a pre-recorded video. I figured that would be the case. Okay, I'm actually very curious. Did they make use of this during this Nahobino form? I'm very curious. Oh, we can actually see it. Yeah, I'm kind of curious why the machines would be going off. Unless it's just smoke from the transformation happening. Looking here to see if anything's different with the tanks. That is bizarre that they would be going off.
Now then, young man, forward.
Okay, I'm skipping quite ahead from the last cutscene I did. Way ahead to, like, the end. So this is, like, major spoilers, of course. Because I'm not quite sure what other scenes in between this and the fusion scenes and everything that I should check out. If anyone wants me to check out anything in particular that I haven't checked out yet, look at these. It's always fun to... I've examined this area before, but it's always fun to look at this one because it has a lot of details. They put you back on the spot to fight Tiamat. Let's play here. She just disappears.
She transcends even the concept of death.
I know this happens like really fast. Hold on. Yeah, so the protagonist, I guess he gets hit like a little bit. No, I guess that's almost he almost gets hit. It's not a direct hit, but gets hit a little bit here. Oh, okay, never mind. That is definitely a direct hit. I like how Tao's just standing there. And we see, unfortunately, yeah, Tao took a direct hit. Somehow Tsukuyomi was able to shield the protagonist from getting hit. Which is strange because usually, in the case, like previously, in the original route, when you get attacked by Lamu Sahori, both the Nahobino, both the protagonist and Aogami, you know, the Nahobino gets hit, and both of them get damaged from getting impaled, but for some reason in this instance, even though he was fused with the protagonist, somehow Tsukuyomi is able to take, like, the full force of that, or most of it. I pause it here. It didn't completely obliterate him, but obviously he's not, I mean, he's also not as strong as Aogami, too. And it seemed clear, like the researchers tell you, that his body is getting, like, worn out So it was only like a matter of time. And here we have sort of a repeat of the beginning. So, you know, I notice because he forms like this, I never thought about this before. But I wonder if where the protagonist was in Dot when he first appeared, if it was actually near a location where Aogami's like Aogami was in Magatsui form, because Lucifer did take him away. I think he like must have turned him into Magatsui or something. Because in the scene that they show with the battle with the angels, he just disappears. So I'm wondering if Lucifer just like turned him into essence, and then when the protagonist arrives in Dot, he just like reforms, just like is happening here. So it makes you wonder where he was actually like stored away. Lo and behold, Agami is not actually dead. He just got juiced for a little bit. I like the expression that Tsukuyomi has upon seeing his brother. The only thing is, like, they don't get to talk or say anything to each other before Tsukuyomi just fucking dies. That would have been nice. Let's get a different angle here with all of them. It just disappears. There we go. Very unfortunate. I really loved... He was a great character in Vengeance. They did so much with this character. I'm really glad. It's interesting that he looks so terrified. It's like, hey, your partner's back, by the way. Hey. So it's neat that they don't have immediately fuse with the protagonist upon touching his hand, because that was the thing that happened in the beginning. It's just immediate fusion with that, you know. So
My
this is
being
pretty neat.
became Magatsuhi. I was absorbed by Tiamat. When she fell by your hand and reformed, my essence escaped hers. I have reclaimed myself.
Just want to examine Tiamat just a little bit. It's interesting. I probably made many posts about this, but he is based on Susanoo, Aogami. However, any of the actual dragon slaying Susanoo did was not actually slaying. All he did, and I mean, it's considered a very heroic act, but he got Orochi very, very drunk to where Orochi like passed out, and then he proceeded to cut the snake. Sometimes it's depicted as a dragon, but he cuts it apart and then gets the Burakumo out of its tail. But he didn't have to do any actual fighting, which I say is like, you know, he likes to fight smart and not hard. But I don't know if you can call him really a dragon slayer. He's no like he's not quite like other legendary heroes that actually have to like struggle to the death with the dragon. He just found another way to like do it, which I find very funny.
Now let us rise, young man. This time we end it.
Yeah, it's interesting at this point, you know, when he comes back, he has no problem putting his like hand on the protagonist's shoulder or anything like that. He is a confident demon at this point. Get a nice like shot around them like this before they transform. So it's interesting because this is a different way of them becoming a Nahobino. They're actually showing the secrets in Engine. Becoming like two beams of light. Like two, kind of like two souls intertwined. It's a very cool way of showing it. Pause it here. Yeah, she tries to attack when they're fusing. I don't think that's gonna work. Doesn't do a damn thing. Okay, so this scene right here, when he's doing the Murakumo, it's actually pre-recorded. I can actually explore it here. Wow, this is happening really fast. I think this is in-engine. It's a pretty cool transition between in-engine and like pre-made cutscene. Never got a chance to actually look at her outfit this closely. There is a... So it's interesting because unless she turns her head a specific way, you're not going to be able to see that flower in the back as well. That's actually a flower back here. It's like a gold flower. Otherwise, her outfit is kind of similar to Tao's. Just color. The color scheme is different, but the mirror and her circlet, it's just like a serpent circlet, and then the flower that's at the back of her head is unique to her.
I summon deepest void, the living abyss.
Oh, that was not supposed to happen. Okay. Oh, strange. There's a Nahobino down here. Huh. 2 models. Not sure what that's for. Oh, it's probably for the battle itself. Let's see. Yeah, you can actually... Yeah, it's Nahobino. I mean, you're not going to see it during the cutscene, I don't think. This might be, for the battle sequence that happens. Oh, weird. Wait a minute. Was it actually allowing me to walk around? As, hold on. It's probably because of the debug. Let me see. Is it actually letting me, it's letting me walk around?
Come, chaos, envelop this world.
Hold on.
Home. Rise up.
Okay, so she's on top of this thing. I thought this transformation sequence was pretty cool. Gonna mention, this fight was an interesting one. It was frustrating until I actually figured out what the gimmick was. The music for this fight's really cool as well. Of course, this goes straight into the battle with Tiamat right after, and I get to kind of look around a little bit during the battle sequence. I like Tahome's design because she kind of reminds me of like classic RPG final bosses in a way. Like Final Fantasy bosses. That sort of thing. Okay, I think that'll be it. I don't think there's any... I think it's cool to see certain scenes happening from a different angle. Maybe I'll see some things that I haven't seen before when I view things with the FreeCam. Nothing too outstanding, I guess. Checking out some of the cutscenes in this video, but I guess it's still cool to see stuff happen and sort of like go out of bounds and stuff, and maybe examine things more in detail while they're actually happening. I don't know if I'm going to do another cutscene examination video after this one, unless people like have other specific cutscenes that I haven't done yet, or areas that they want me to actually look at to see if anything like there's anything interesting in the environment. Any like out of bounds stuff, but otherwise this might be like the last one I do for now. Now I know there's all the canon of creation stuff that I haven't examined in the debug menu. I want to mention, if you're using like the unlock for the debug menu, the campaigns are separated into two. The vengeance route is separated into something that I think says playtest, and it has all the events. The events are numbered for that, for like the cutscenes and battles and everything like that. And then the original version of the game is on like the separate one. There's the one that just says SMT5 something, and those are like numbered differently. You'll know you're on the Vengeance one though, because it has way more events obviously in it. Like it goes past 300 if you're actually using it to view events yourself. But otherwise, I think that'll be it for now. Hope you guys enjoy these. I've been a little slow with the video uploads. I got stuff going on. I know I wanted to do a video like going over like how weird protofiends are and all the lore and, you know, whatever I can figure out sometime, but it's just like, I think it's been hard to really piece together everything that's known about the protofiends based on like, even though Vengeance gives us more information, I still have more questions about it. I still like, you know, a lot of the lore is kind of like scattered and side quests and like dialogue options. and everything like that. So it's kind of hard to get like a full picture of all the lore. You know, what exactly is correct. A lot of stuff is still kind of vague. So I'm not really sure if I want to do... It's been hard to really think of how I want to approach a video on the protofiends or not. But anyways, I'll get to it when I get to it. But hope you guys enjoy these, and you have a good one.